Hey, in this video we're going to make a start of an enemy character that we can attack and get hurt by. The method of attack is going to be jumping on them, kind of Mario style. We're not going to make it too fancy, to keep it simple, but we'll make a character, make it so that you can jump on them to defeat them. And if you touch them, but you're maybe not at a good jump height above them, then you take damage instead. So I am in Unreal Engine, and I have my third-person template going on. I would like to make an enemy character that is a lot like my character. My character is this third-person character here. And so a way to do that is to locate the blueprint in your content. This one in particular is in the third-person BP folder from your content folder. And you go to blueprints, and there he is, third-person character. So I can make a copy of this if I right-click on it and I duplicate it. This will make a whole new blueprint, which is unique, has its own identity, so that if I mess things up, I'm only messing them up for the AI character. So let's just call him either AI character or enemy or something. Let's call him AI character. All right, so. They will look identical, but once I bring one out, place them, let's see, where's a good spot? Over here is good. Bring them out and place them. You'll see in the world outliner he's now called AI character, and he has an AI character blueprint that I can edit. And so that's distinct from my third-person character. When I edit blueprint, open the blueprint editor, make certain that you are selected on the AI character, that it comes up with AI character here, because you don't want to just like break everything about your actual player character. So a couple of things I don't need. I don't need the camera stuff here. All the rest of this might be useful. And maybe there might be some variables I added in for just the player. I don't need that. And then all of the event graph. I don't need any of that stuff. I'll replace it with my own logic later. So compile and save that. And then I can start working on my player character. Right now, this guy's just going to stand there, and I'll go and try to stomp on him and see if I can defeat him. So over in my third-person character, I want to edit that blueprint. Okay, so I have the stuff I had from the other videos, and another thing I'd like to do is if I'm going to be jumping on this guy or bumping into him, that's going to be in my hit event. That's when collision occurs. So I will right click and event hit. There it is. Event hit gives you a bunch of information about the collision. So here's like the component that collided with this other component. Here's the other actor that's involved in the collision, where the collision occurred, and all that stuff. So this is enough information for me. Really, for my purposes, I think I just need the other actor, and then I can figure things out. So let's say there are two options if I hit a guy, if I touch them. It's either going to be that I've hit them from above, or I've not hit them from above. I also want to make sure that it is an enemy that I'm hitting, that I'm actually checking on here. So let's drag this off. We can make a branch and I want to check the other actor and see if it has a specific tag. So here we are with our branch. Actor has tag. I'm going to see if he has the, let's call it the enemy tag, and hook up that condition. So now this branch decides based on whether or not the actor has this tag. So on false, I'm just going to ignore it. On true, I'll do something, check our collision specially. So let's go over to the AI character and select the AI character self, that root one, and scroll down on the details panel to actor so that we can add an actor tag. That's where the enemy tag will be. Alright, that's good. Let me go back to the third person character. Alright, so now we have that tag. We can perform this kind of collision. And I would like to make another decision here. It's going to be another branch. And this branch is going to be based on kind of the relative height or z location of my two objects. So I'm going to do it based on the actors' locations. So I have two actors. One is self, this guy, and the other is other, which is the one you're bumping into, the enemy. So we'll have two locations, two positions, which are vectors, and we'll have to get the z-coordinate of those vectors and compare that z-coordinate. So let's see, one of them is going to be myself, so get a reference to self. You can also just skip right to the what is it? Actor get location. Yeah, get actor location. There it is. You can also skip to that, and that has self as the default thing for it. So we'll want that. We'll also want the location from other. So get actor location here. Right. And we want to make a little offset. So determine a position that's a little bit above the other actor. So we will take this vector and break the vector, which just means break it into its components so that we can access its coordinates separate from each other. So I'm going to grab the z coordinate and add a little bit to it. So add vector. Oh, this is a float. Yeah. So float plus a float. We want to add to the z coordinate of our enemy. Add just a bit. Let's see. So 25 centimeters. That's going to be a quarter of a meter. Quarter of a meter. That's okay. Well, that will probably be enough. And then we'll compare our location to that one. So let's break this vector and compare these two z values. This is going to be my z, and check to see if it is greater than this other one, the enemy's z plus 25. If we are greater, then this branch will follow the true path, and if we are less, then it'll follow the false path. So the false path is where we're going to take damage, and the true path is where we're going to defeat the enemy or do damage to them or whatever. So we could do that now. Off of the true, let's destroy actor. And the actor we want to destroy is not ourself. It is this other actor. Let's grab that. Alright, that looks good. And can test that out. Let's compile it and save it. Jump into the game. So I bump into him normally, and if I jump, There we go. So coming down on top makes them get destroyed. Cool. Now, it's maybe not as satisfying as like a Mario stomp, so we'll throw in a little bit of extra. Let's, off of this destroy actor, characters in Unreal have a function launch character, which will let us apply some velocity to our guy. So our self is going to get launched, and let's say we launch maybe like 1,000 in the Z direction. This is our launch velocity, and we'll override our Z velocity. This just means it'll replace the Z velocity. So if you were falling down on the enemy really fast, it would make you bounce off of the enemy. If you were just gently grazing the top of the enemy's head, then it would still make you bounce off the enemy. It doesn't matter how fast you'd be coming in. We'll override your Z velocity and just make it 1,000. So that should be fun. Let's try that one out. There we go. Whoa, maybe too bouncy, but that's still fun. Here, now I could bounce and land on another enemy's head and defeat them as well. Just keep bouncing. Alright, that's cool. So, if you haven't done this before, you can select multiple nodes and then press the C button, the C key, and it will group them, and you can leave a comment. So here is kill enemy or hurt enemy or whatever. There we go. So I'll keep it clean there. Alright, so this other branch. The other branch is maybe a bit more complicated. What we want to do is get hurt. And that doesn't sound too bad, but well, I'll show you what happens if we just do it naively. So let's just for now print string and be like, ouch, ouch. There's we got hurt. Okay. Let's try this out. So if I don't jump and I bump into him, I should get hurt. And that is a lot of ouch. Maybe just a little bit of ouch if I'm careful. But if I touch him and bump into him a bunch, it really quickly hurts a lot. This would be like if I had 10 hit points, I'd be dead almost instantly. And it just depends on how much I'm bumping up against them, which is really not what I want. We'll leave this so that we can tell when we do hit them, but we need to be a little smarter about this. What we can do is use a logical gate in this script. So the gate node is a pretty cool one, though it is a little bit complex to think about it at first. But when it makes sense, it's really useful. So it's kind of like a physical gate, right? Your logic comes in, and your logic can go through the gate. But the gate could be closed, or it could be open. If it's open, you can go right through. If it's closed, then it stops here, and you can't go through. And so whenever you try to go through, you can't go through because it's closed. And then you can issue commands to open the gate, make it open, and then you'll be able to pass through. So we kind of want to make it so that there's a time delay, so that the gate is open at first. So when we touch the enemy, we get hurt. But then close the gate so that you can't go through it anymore, you can't get hurt anymore, and then after a second or so, open the gate again, and then you can get hurt again. So sort of like a an invincibility period after you get hit. So let's do something like that. I want the gate to start open, so I'm going to uncheck that start closed boolean, and we'll enter. When we go through the gate, we will say, ouch, we got hurt. And then we will delay. So the delay node lets us say we're going to just wait for a second. 1 second is actually just fine here. And when we've completed that, we're going to go and open the gate again. Now, we haven't closed the gate yet, so we will go through the gate, and immediately after we go through the gate, that's the place that we should be closing it. Now, the trouble is, with this logic, I'm already doing something. I'm already going straight to this print string and to this delay. I kind of have to go to that one and some other ones. So what I can do is grab this and do a sequence. Okay, this is gonna be a little messy. So a sequence is just steps that we're going to follow, and we're going to do all of them. So when we go through the gate, the first thing we do is to, well, it doesn't matter which order we do them in, this will be fine. But the first thing we'll do is print out ouch, and then we will go into our delay. But then we also want to remember to close the gate behind us. We close the gate, and then after that delay, we will open the gate. And that'll make it so we can't get hurt rapidly. Okay. All right, nice. So bumping up against him looks like we only get hurt once a second. That's much better. Cool. All right. So now let's throw in some actual like hit points here, just to make it more complete. Let's throw a variable in, hit points, and we'll make it an integer number of hit points. Yeah, sure, make it public, and compile it. So let's start off with, let's do 3 hit points so that it's easy to test, and we can always change it later. All right, so 3 hit points. This is where I'm getting actually hurt, this ouch spot here. So when I do this ouch is when I want to reduce my hit points. So we'll take my hit points, set hit points, wire it up in there, and we want to set it to a value that's 1 less than the value we used to have. So get our hit points, subtract 1, and use that value as our new hit points. Okay. And then after we set our hit points, we should check to see if we've died. So we've set it down by 1, and then we need to do a branch. Okay. So for our branch, I'm actually going to break this, Alt-click on that. I want the condition to be based on my hit points. Hit points. I'm going to get my hit points, and I want to check if they are less than or equal to 0. Okay. Less than or equal to 0. If they're less than or equal to 0, we died. If they're not less than or equal to 0, so the false part will continue on. The true part will destroy actor. It'll be this actor. Now we could do more fancy stuff, particle effect, I don't know, a delay and then returning to a menu or something. But this will get the point across. Save it, compile it, and I think we're ready to go. Let's try it. 3 hit points. So there's 1, 2, 3. All right, cool. So I've definitely gotten. escape to get out of here. If you're playing the actual game, if you haven't added any other keys to let you quit, you can use Alt F4 to get out of the game. Just don't do that when you're in the editor because it'll close Unreal Engine. Okay, cool. Got it. All right, so I think that that just about covers it. We now have it so that I can play this game, and let me throw in some more of these AI characters. Oh, they're scary. I can take damage, I can jump on their heads, oh wow. Take more damage, and die. Nice. Alright, so that's us making some really scary AI characters that you can get hurt by and you can jump on top of them. In the next video, we'll put some movement in there. Tell them how they can move and have them chase us around a bit. That'll be fun. See you there.